Good evening, everyone. Oi, loud table in the corner there. What? What? Yeah, you. Hi, everyone. Hi. Yes, thank you. Just getting my beer. Um, Thanks for coming to our talk. Everyone at the bar, please, you guys can still find your way to the seats here. Thanks for coming to the next Nature on Tap talk. Woo, yeah, there's the excitement. So I also want to hear woos from the loud table there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's why we invited you guys. Actually, you can go home now. It's fine. No, cool. But really, thanks everyone for coming. As usual, before we start, I'm just gonna tell you a bit of the basics. First things first, we just need to thank all our collaborators. So obviously, firstly, Giraffe. This is where we are. For those of you who don't know, firstly, Giraffe for hosting this. Painted Dog, who graciously film all these talks so that everything gets uploaded to YouTube at a later stage. Scales, who unfortunately aren't here tonight, but they help us out financially and help us at least give us a platform. So from our side, as Nature on Tap, we've been doing these talks for years now, and the whole concept is we're trying to support the conservationists. So we're supporting people who support nature. That is our whole kind of motto in this. So please, if you want to donate towards this, we're going to contribute to some really cool things in the future. We've had some great donations come in, so we're going to do some exciting stuff moving forward. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't donate to Nourish. For example, at the end of the night, this is just to keep talks going and to keep us contributing to our community. If you want to get involved and you know of anyone else in different areas that might be interested in starting this kind of concept up under the Nature on Tap umbrella, please also just get in touch. And then from Thirsty Giraffe side tonight, as usual, once the talk's done, please just go outside for 5-10 minutes just to give the staff some time to actually reposition all the tables and things. Otherwise, if there's a million drink orders coming in and things like that, it can get a bit chaotic and disorganized. So just give them a chance to get reset and we get all that going. But yeah, really thanks everyone for coming. We've got a fantastic talk lined up tonight. Nourish Pontsho is going to tell us all about it. These guys have been around for a long time, and I'm sure a lot of you know about them already. But I'm excited to learn a little bit more about what they do and what their whole concept is and how they achieve it. So I'm going to hand over now, and he's going to take it away. Big round of applause.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pontsho Chiloane. Yeah, so I'm the operations manager for Nourish. I just started with Nourish this year in April, so it has been a very interesting 6 months for me ever since I started working with Nourish. Yes, I'm happy to see some of my colleagues here with me, Karen, Emotion, and Chris, and my fiance around today. So thank you very much for coming and supporting me. I was looking forward for this for a very long time, so now it's the day. So give me some time, guys. Let me explain to you what we do as Nourish, and I hope I give you as much information as possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Nourish, growing resilience in wildlife communities. So that's our topic for today. That's what I'm going to be speaking about here in front about Nourish. So, ladies and gentlemen, um, okay, cool. Who we are? So you might wondering, what is this Nourish? What are we doing, and where are we? So I'll be answering some of those questions here today. Nourish, we are is registered is an registered NPO and a PBO with 100% Black beneficiaries. Beneficiary founded in 2011 as a platform linking conservation with community issues and ideal finding integrated sustainable solutions to issue indirect plugging conservation such as poverty, low levels of education, food insecurity, and unemployment. So we are there's a bridge. There's a bridge between the indigenous community, between the villages surrounding the wildlife and there's a bridge between tourism and them. So we are there to remove the bridge for them, and so that they can also tap in the tourism market and be part of the tourism industry. So understanding the history of Nourish by Sarah Betts. Unfortunately, Sarah Betts, the owner and the founder of the foundation, was unable to attend here today with us. So I've had a video from her that she's going to explain the history and the background of Nourish and how it started. So I'm going to play the video, and we're going to look at the video and just you'll see basically everything, what happened, how it start, and how the dream went, and so on. I'm gonna try and play the video not online. I'm just going to play through the downloaded video that I have on the desktop.
How and why it got started, and the important work that we're doing in growing resilience in wildlife communities in Southern Africa. So let's jump right in. As mentioned, my name is Sarah, and I'm the founder of Nourish. I started Nourish in 2011 to really address a need that I saw. It was a really personal journey for me, and Nourish is really the result of so many things that I saw. And I would like to share that with you in a few stumbling words, but to really take you on that journey with me. So in order to do that, I'd like to give you a little bit of context. South Africa is a phenomenal country, but one that really is struck by harsh contrasts. We have the beautiful Timbavati Private Nature Reserve and the myriad of other private nature reserves where people can come from all over the world to experience nature and the natural heritage that South Africa is so proud to offer. I was privileged enough to grow up in this landscape. I grew up at one of the game reserves in the heart of the Timbavati. I was homeschooled and I was raised with elephants and lions literally in my backyard. But what that did was gave me the incredible privilege to see that not everybody gets to experience this. Not everybody in South Africa has an equal opportunity. It also showed me a few other things. It showed me that not all the money coming into tourism is making its way across the boundaries of the tourism landscape into the rural communities. It showed me that a lot of conservation and the tourism that comes with it lies in the hands of a certain demographic of society. It showed me that if you had enough money, you could pay to experience rhino, elephant, lion, a beautiful sunset in the middle of the wilderness. And if you didn't have money, that was fenced off from you. I got to experience that if you were born into the wrong household and part of the post-apartheid legacy, that really there was no access, and more than that, there was no benefit to this beautiful conservation landscape that I could call home. And growing up in all of this, I started to ask questions. I started to wonder why. I wondered why communities weren't more integrated into the conservation process. I wondered why tourists couldn't experience the culture that sat on the doorstep of their wildlife experience. I started to wonder why there were issues in poverty and poaching and how I could play a role. And to be honest, the answer was that I didn't know. So what I did was what anybody did. I spent a few years trying to figure it out. I got my degree in humanities and really explored education and development. And then in 2011, started Nourish with the goal of connecting communities to conservation and really trying to work in the space between those two areas with people and wildlife and with the problems that were inherent in those, the problems of poverty, which was the root cause of so many social ills, and the problems of wildlife crime that was happening in the reserves. These two problems, which in my mind did not sit side by side, but sat interlinked, and that is where I wanted to play a role. And when I looked around, over 10 years ago now, I did not find an NGO that I could work for that connected those two landscapes. And that's where and why Nourish was really born. To nourish a connection to each other across social and racial boundaries, to nourish a connection to the environment, to nourish a connection between people and planet, between conservation and communities. And that's where Nourish was birthed. So now that you know why we got started and who I am in the picture, the crazy visionary who just wanted to make a difference, let me chat to you about what Nourish really managed to get kickstarted all those years ago. So initially, Nourish was focused on really trying to find ways to connect communities and conservation. And the initial start of this was to go and chat to the chief of the local village. This is very different than in many countries because in South Africa, much of the land is owned under traditional rule. So chiefs and what we call indunas, a headman of the village, will own the land. And for me, it was fundamental to go and sit and understand what these communities' needs were and how I could go about serving these needs. A year of beneficiation processes and a year of communication processes led to really understanding the grassroots needs of the community that sat just one road away from the wildlife landscape. Elephants on the left-hand side, children walking barefoot to school on the right-hand side. 5-star lodges on the left-hand side, people walking with wheelbarrows to fetch water on the right-hand side. So for me, this was the perfect village and community in which I wanted to start, and the chief was keen. So the first thing that happened was after a year of negotiating, Nourish got a piece of community-owned land with the goal of starting a craft center to enable the local community to sell wares directly to tourism and thereby benefit from the tourism traffic in the area, but also a library, with the goal being that children could learn how to speak good enough English to access jobs. So my starting point was simple: helping people to access benefit from conservation-based tourism. And that's where it all started, with trying to enable people to really get benefit from the beautiful natural heritage that was on their doorstep. I remember a few things fondly from this whole process. One, that it takes a long time to start a real community development program. And in a way, this is a refining process because not everybody would stick it out. Not everybody would engage with a community for a year to try to get some headway. But I was really passionate about it. I really wanted to. I really believed in it. And it happened. And I was glad. It was almost a refining process, a purging process. So I knew what it was that I wanted to do. It also enabled me to have one of my most special memories, sitting under a huge marula tree deep in one of the villages with the chief discussing with the elders whether or not he would give me this piece of the land that belonged to his people. I didn't understand much of what was being said, but I could see that there was dialogue. I could see that some people were not keen for community-owned land to be in the hands of this stranger. And I could see that other people were keen for a library and craft center, for jobs, for benefit. But I do remember the final words. The chief stood up and said, in the words of Nelson Mandela, "Black and white shall live together." And in that moment, I knew that we had the chief's blessing and that everything was going to go ahead. The whole process also showed me that even though I had this idea in mind for starting Nourish, that I had to be willing to go back to the drawing board time and time again in order to remain authentic to responding to the community needs. So my idea of a craft center and library was the first thing I had on my page, but that was not the first real need. The first thing that Nourish did eventually start and build was a food garden. Engaging with the local primary school gave me a chance to really understand how many children came from vulnerable and broken homes and how many of their carers, mothers, grandmothers would be willing to work hard in a food garden just to take home the fruits of their labor. But they didn't even have that. They didn't even have the access to a secure piece of farming land where no goats would eat their food. They didn't have access to the seedlings, the mulch, the compost, the water, the tools. These little things that were needed in order to gain food security were something that they did not have. So that is how Nourish was started, literally with a food garden, nourishing food security. All that happened is that I've created a platform, and children's parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, mainly women, came to work in the garden and took home everything that grew. And that was how Nourish was born, in our permaculture food security garden. Thereafter, we added a borehole so that we would have a permanent source of water. Thereafter, we got funding for a beautiful rammed earth library to be developed, where children could come after school for help with homework, reading, English literacy, and then to learn so much more. Slowly, Nourish Eco Village was developing into a space where children could come, where adults could come, where community members could feel welcome, and where they could walk away with something that would benefit them, feeling nourished, having grown. And all the time, for me, one of the key aspects was remembering that I wanted to be an inspiration for the community, to show that living lightly on the planet is possible. Living better on the earth is possible. And this was done not through force feeding, but rather through incorporating permaculture principles, water-wise agriculture principles, showing how to build with sand and recycling in the library, making ceilings out of thatch grass instead of artificial materials. For me, the Nourish Eco Village was a space to inspire, to dream, and to live all those aspects instead of a case of trying to preach.
Thank you very much for listening to that. Let's go back to our presentation. Cool. Okay, cool. Now that we know the history of where Nourish started and how it all started and where is it now, so I'm going to be speaking about what is currently happening and what are we doing at Nourish and what's our goal and what's our future plans. So we might wondering where Nourish is. Where are we? We are at Eco Village in Skakule. The Eco Village is the first Nourish that Sarah spoke about that started with the negotiation with the Ndunas to get the land. And that's at the open road under the Bushbuckridge municipality on the doorstep of Timbavati and Thorny Bush Private Nature Reserve. That's the Minyisi tribal land with 99-year lease and services the Skakula village and all the other areas within the 50 to 100 kilometers radius around the region. So this region is characterized by marginalized and poverty-stricken communities where lack of access to basic services such as water and sanitation and education is a normal life. Going forward, this past weekend, it was a very interesting weekend for us, especially for myself and my colleagues, because we opened a new Nourish 2 that's based in Civil B. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, so we invited for the ceremony, we invited the donors, we invited everyone that was part of building the new Nourish. And we had a very beautiful opening with the traditional dance and very important people there with the schools and the children as well were invited. So that happened this past Saturday, which is very interesting. So we have the Nourish 2 village, which is based in Civil B. But in Makrapeni village, also are part of the Bushbuckridge municipality with a 99-year lease, service to the community within 50 and 100 kilometers radius. Also the same thing, the region is capitalized with poverty-stricken communities where lack of access to basic services such as water and sanitation and education is a norm. Going forward, Nourish Foundation, what are we, our slogan, it says we grow resilience in the wildlife communities through engagement in conservation and sustainable development. So how are we doing that? So this is a very simple mind map picture of what are we focusing on. So basically you'll see we've got the fundraising and income on our far right. That's where we gather all the donors and the funding to be running all the projects and everything to make this program successfully run. And we've got the program strategy, which focus mainly on education. And those are the very most important things that Nourish is currently focusing on: education, enterprise, and tourism. And we do that through the Eco Village village. So we do that in a kind of an Eco Village setting whereby we have this eco village, which is based in Skakula, and then we work from recycled material. We build something from nothing, and we try and do the most of what we do so that we can teach people and educate people to do something out of nothing. And you might wondering why, how, and what. How do we do this? Going forward, to understand why Nourish exists, and we need to understand our local communities first. So our local communities is mainly the lack of sustainable income opportunities for community members, lack of beneficiation from the tourism value chain in the area, underutilization of indigenous knowledge and skills, lack of knowledge and skills of the indigenous wildlife. So making it very, very difficult to live a very normal life. So day by day, for people in the villages, they struggle. They would not focus on upgrading their life. They focus on going through the life every day so that they can survive the day after a day and so on. So we are there to actually close that gap and give them more to them to life, and so that they can make something out of life. So that's what we focus on at the villages. So going forward, our goal to why we exist, to create sustainable development and solution in wildlife buffer zones that protects the natural environment. So we, as you can see, I've put a picture of a Superman. We are there as Nourish, to let us be your savior. Let's help you. Let's walk through this together. Let's hold your hand and let's work with us through this, so that we can achieve what we want in life, rather than focusing on a survival basic, focusing on if you're going to survive tomorrow or you're not. So that's what we are currently doing in the community. How are we doing this? Growing resilience in the wildlife communities through engagement in conservation and sustainability. At the villages, they are born. There are a lot of children that are born in the village. They grew up from childhood. They've grown up, and then even today, some of them they know how a rhino looks like, but they haven't actually physically seen it with their own eyes. So for us, we've seen a gap that, as much as these things are being taught, have they actually experienced it? Have they seen it? Have they went into the game reserve and do a drive so that they can actually, experience what they've been taught at school and so on? Due to reasons that there is poverty and they can't afford a lot of things, and they aren't able to go and do a game drive, they aren't able to go and experience the wildlife surrounding their indigenous area that's just a few kilometers away from where they live. But we have a tourist coming all the way from 1,000 kilometers and telling a child that's born in the area what a rhino looks like, and how they survive, and how they eat, and how they live through life. And so that's actually they should be the ones telling the tourists about that, not the other way around. So we as Nourish, we want to educate people. We want to educate young lives, especially indigenous young lives, to learn more about the indigenous environment and so on, so that they can be the ones educating people that come all the way from far to visit this area. So what do we do? Programming design around education, enterprise, tourism, EET, delivered through an eco village model. So that's what we do. We take the eco village and then we make it a place of Ubuntu where they'll always come and visit, where they'll always come and interact with the tourism people, with the visitors coming from all over the world. And we make it a place of friendly where they will sit and spend more time there and learn about things that they haven't knew around their area and so on. So education program initiatives, we have the environmental education, and we have the environmental experience. So we do that through the rice scratch on site at Skakula village, where we have the eco village. We have the crèche, which is named the rice scratch, where we have all the village kids. They come and They learn from the ECD level till they get to when it's time to go to school. So from there, we'll teach them, starting from the beginners, from the lowest level ever, they will learn everything that has to do with environmental education. A well-designed environmental and sustainability-focused scratch program home to the Eco Village. This will provide training to teachers and be the foundation for our green kids as they grow up. So we noted that, okay, cool, we've taught them this, and then we can't just drop them. We want to continue with them till they get to where they will be starting to work. So, we want to get them to the tertiary level with them holding their hand, as I mentioned before. We want to work with them through this till they get to the end where they start opening their own businesses, having jobs, going to professional level where they can become, tour guides and so on. So we don't want to drop them. So we decided, cool, you know what, let's continue with them. Let's have green kids at schools as well. So when they start going to school, we'll be there as well, teaching them throughout the way, carrying it on and as they go. And we decided that we do a experience as well, whereby they'll go and experience this wildlife activities that we're talking about, but not just learning, and so that they can actually go and interact and see this wildlife animals. So for that, we've got the Green Kids Club, we've got the Scouts program, we've got the Green Kids field trips, we've got the Green Kids camps, of which they will come after school and then they will interact and they will learn and so on. We organize trips for them, and then we organize field trips where they can go and so on. So basically, we've got the Green Kids that's also based at school, which one of our staff members does it. Billy, she goes to schools and teaches kids about environmental education and all those sorts of, the Scouts program, the learning and so on. And we've got the after school program, which is the Green Kids Club Kids, which comes to the site at the Eco Nourish, so that they can do their, we've set up a schedule for them from Monday to Friday. On Monday they do environmental education, Tuesday they do learning support, Wednesday they do Scouts, Thursday they do creative development, and then on Friday they do sports. And all those interlinked together, where they'll go together and do field trips, do camps, and do greening initiatives. Going forward, those are the pictures of them. We teach them animal friendly. We go and do educational trips to Moholo Holo. We do educational game through play. We have volunteers coming over and so on, and introducing how we can actually upgrade our education levels and so on. So they do introduce new play, learning ways of which they do it through play, where kids cannot get bored and they can actually be excited and learn more and so on. So we've got the Green Kids program as well, which is also based at the schools. We've got, as you can see, you have young kids here building a bed for gardening out of recycled material. They're using bottles at this stage. And then we've got the educational trips to Blade Canyon, where they will talk about crocodiles and the hippos and so on. So those are the educational things that we do that are practical. Then we've got Scouts with Martin. Martin is the facilitator for the Scouts and so on. And then we've got creativity in intelligence, having fun. So we try to make it as exciting as possible for them to want to know more and want to continue and learn what it's all about. So we also have the Sidiwa. The Sidiwa Enterprise, it's a model whereby we formed it to actually create an income for us, so that we can actually be able to have sustainable projects. So, we cannot do anything without funding, so we need to fund ourselves. So what we did, that we came up with this enterprise, Sidiwa Enterprise. We call it Sidiwa Enterprise, where it has training happening, skills development and small business training programs. We have the incubators, assist business owners to develop their ideas and business to their full potential. And then we also have the enterprise, support business owners with administrative duties, as well as offer business market opportunities through a franchise model, of which I'll speak to you later about. Under the whole Green Sidiwa Enterprise, we've got the digital lab sewing beauty spa, culinary, hospitality, agri-processing, eco-building, external partners, SMME support, and social enterprise. So the Nourish basically it focuses on with the Sidiwa social enterprise. We focus on making a lot of events on the property. A lot of people will come and have baby showers. A lot of people will come and host birthday parties, and then so on. They spend on the property, and all the funds that we get from all those events, we continue with our projects, and we help kids to do trips. It goes into fuel, it goes into bookings for the kids, and it goes into material need to actually make education simpler and exciting. So going forward, social enterprise, this is how we do things. So as you can see, we have Christian there having a nice waffle that's actually indigenously made and on the property. While we have waffles available, we've got Nomi. It's showcasing lunch for two. That's our chef actually. She does all the food on the social enterprise hub, and then we've got also burgers available and chips. If you would like to come over and have some, you're more than welcome to do that. The social enterprise, we've got birthday party celebrations, we've got graduations ceremonies that we host on site. So if you should have a event that you want to host, you're welcome to contact us, and we book the area so that you can also assist in helping make change in the villages. The Sidiwa Hub Training Center. This also focuses on the entrepreneurship training, as I mentioned before, the digital literacy training and hospitality training, women empowerment, and workshops as well. So as you can see, we've got our class here with Luther. He's having computer classes with the village kids, and they're having training. And then on the other picture, we have hospitality training with the high school kids. They're learning how to service at the restaurant, and bring all the services that are needed through a partnership of other entities as well. And then over there we have women empowerment workshops that we have on site. So and going forward, we've got another program which is Wildflower Center in partnership with Timbavati Foundation. The vision for this is to educate and empower and enrich the lives of young girls and women within the Greater Kruger integrated landscape in order to provide them with the tools towards improved self-love and dignity. So within that, what they do basically, they meet the kids, especially the ladies, because as you grow, you reach puberty stage, and then many of I know for a fact, I grew up with my parents. They wouldn't be comfortable to speak so much about life change stages and so on. So at this stage, we've got Trinity, which is in charge of that. She holds up talks to girls, to young ladies, as they develop changes in their bodies when they reach to puberty stage, and then they will speak about the changes that they're going to experience and so on, and so that they can be aware, and they can have someone to speak to if they are seeing things that are unusual that are happening to their bodies and so on. And then that opens them up to actually talk about things that actually happen during the life and so on, and they are not being afraid of they develop self-confidence as well as what Trinity is teaching them, self-confidence. They do meditation as well, and talk about the girl talk and so on. We also do boys talk as well, but not much as the girls. Yeah, so going forward, we do have the sorry for that, we do have the sanitary pads pet project that we have on site as well, which we deliver every time when Trinity goes out to schools. In areas in the villages, most of the people wouldn't be able to afford, pets. So it's actually a extended cost to what they should be doing. They could be using the money to maybe getting food, or maybe getting a taxi to school and so on. So in return, so we actually have this sanitary pets projects, of which you get 6 pads in a packet, and then those pads you would use throughout for 2 years. It's a washable pad, and then so that you can rather just use that if you don't have money. And then we know you shouldn't be held from doing and going and striving and making your life better because of a natural thing that you are actually should be experiencing. So we're trying to cut those kind of if you know what I mean. So yeah, so going forward, we've also got Chic Shack on site. Chic Shack is an accommodation that we have on the property, which people can actually go and book. Our village or eco village is and at the open road where a lot of guests are passing left, right every day. So people drive all the way from Johannesburg on the way to Kruger. When they're tired, they can book a B&B, not a B&B as such, but a accommodation at Chic Shack, and they can. It's not a 5-star. It's actually we're working towards 3-star, but it's actually nice to have. As you can see, we've got the TP guest houses. That's how it looks inside. Two people can sleep in that one, and we've got the Zambak one. We've got the Moment one, and then we've got the Lucky Star one as well. So all in all, our accommodation accommodates close to 30 people. And that's all to support all the projects that we have at Nourish that we are currently running. Going forward, we have the wild and the bushfire brands that we have also on site, which I'm excited to talk about as well. So with this products, it's the wild and the bushfire products it's products that are actually franchise products, of which providing management and admin training and marketing support to the entrepreneurs, allowing them to focus on their business strength. As a person that grew up in the village and so on, you would want to be excited to grow veggies and sell, to grow chilies and sell, and then but you don't know how to go and do so. You don't have the knowledge of penetrating the market. You don't have the knowledge of going an extra mile in terms of getting the labeling and the bottling and so on. So Nourish is there to actually meet them halfway, to do all that hard work for them, and so that they can focus on doing what they love the most, which in this case will be making chilies perhaps, and or maybe going and doing moringa products perhaps, and so on. So at the end of the day, they will get 60% of the profits, and then Nourish will get the other 40% remaining. And with that also, it's not Nourish's profits; it goes back to helping the community. So that's how we started the bushfire and the wildlife products. Going forward, the world product stands for Women Initiatives in Livelihoods Development, creating entrepreneurship and sustainable income opportunities for women at a grassroots level by establishing women into a Nourish community business. Focus on value-added products using moringa grown at Nourish and from local suppliers. So basically, they will grow moringa and they would use the moringa products and create moringa soaps. They will create moringa lip balm. They will create moringa what do you call it? I'll show you all the products as we go. Then we see that's one of the moringa lip balm, and then on the other side is the moringa soap. We have the moringa body bath oil. We have the moringa body butter. And then also in process that we are still going to bring up, and then we will have the sugar scrubs, we will have the coffee scrubs, and then we will have the moringa soap as well. And then that's all under charity. Charity is the one that owns that, and then we as Nourish, we shall support her in all getting the product ready so that we can penetrate the tourism market as well. Those are the moringa oils that we also process on site. As you can see, those are the trees that we grow at Nourish as well, that we use the leaves to process all the products. We come to the bushfire product, bushfire product creating sustainable income opportunities for male entrepreneurs by the production of chili sauces and salt from chili grown at Nourish and from independent growers. We've got the bushfire sauce and the bushfire habanero chili salt. So as you can see, that's dried. He's the one. He's the owner of the chili sauce that you see over there, and you can see he has actually labeled the chili sauce using his surname Nkuna. Nkuna is it's the tribe's surname. So the name of the chili that you actually buy, it's a product named Nkuna, and then it's under the Bushfire brand, and then that's to actually help him to to persevere with his business, and make it out there in the business environment. We do have volunteers that come over and also test the product and make the quality, determine the quality of the product, and then they also do help in upgrading the product itself to make it better and so on. And then we do also appreciate that coming from them. And then what makes us unique, our production process systems and internationality in each step, either being more beneficial or minimized harm to in the environment. Ongoing improvement process through agri-interns, expertise into our production process, and community-based procurement and benefits. So that's what we are focusing on. That's what makes us unique, judging from what we are currently doing with those products. Going forward, community-based product processing is a unique and effective solution to the rural challenges, offering economic empower and self-esteem boost to local residents, especially women, through inclusive of their traditional knowledge and available skills and resources. Utilizing locally sourced organic materials such as in the wild beauty products promotes sustainability and align with the demand for eco-conscious beauty products or amenities. Tourists find value in authentic encounters with local cultures, participating in tours and supporting products that contribute to sustainable livelihoods, making these initiatives attractive to social, responsible, and cultural curious travelers. Overall, this approach benefits rural communities and appeal to tourists seeking genuine products purchases with positive social impact. Cool. So, way forward, what are we doing this? What are we looking for? Where are we going? So, Usara's dream is to actually have a lot of nourishes opened throughout all this places, where not only in South Africa, of course, but throughout the continent, where we have the same developmental problems in the region, where people are actually not making it to where they want to be. We want to open all eco villages so that we can assist and help all other people that we can help, and so on. That create confidence. It helps break the poverty chain, and it helps to improve people's life and so on. And we're hoping we will achieve that in the near future. That's what we're looking to do, and we'll do all those through education, enterprise, and tourism. So I quote, somehow we must keep hope alive, a hope that we can find a way to educate all, elevate poverty, assuage anger, and live in harmony with the environment, with animals, and with each other. That's Dr. Jane Goodwill. So that we work with that quote. Thank you very much for listening for this presentation. Thank you very much. Oh, just before I go, we've got a Spirit of Ubuntu festival happening on the 7th of October. So just that you know, on the 7th of October, you're more than welcome to come and join the color run at Nourish. You all are welcome, and it's going to be a family fun day. So please do come in numbers. Thank you very much.
Cool. So I think we'll move on to some questions. I've got one question to start it off. Those products, the bushfire products and things, where where can everyone access them? Just, give an idea of where people can go and actually purchase all the stuff from. That would be, I think, good for you guys.
At the moment, you can only access them at the Eco Village itself, and in future, you will be able to access them in the lodges, in all the lodges around this area, hopefully. Oh, yes, also the office in Hoedspruit. You're welcome to come and purchase them at the office in Hoedspruit, in the Rockfix Center. Any other question? Cool. Yes, I was born in Hebron, and and at the age of 7 years old, I went and go stay in Limpopo where my mother is. And from there, I went to primary school there. I completed my matric there, and then I went to go study in the Western Cape. And then in the Western Cape, I thought I was only going for 5 years to study for agriculture. And eventually, I got a job opportunity that started that side, and I stayed for more than 15 years, if I may think correctly. And then I decided, no, man, I've been away for so long, and then I want to come back home. So I've gathered all the all the experience and all the knowledge that I wanted to gather. So how about I take all that knowledge and go back home with it, and to help others improve their lives as well, and so on. And I decided, no, I'm going home. I'm going to settle down now. I'm going to focus in my village. That's where I'm from. That's where. It's both. It can be self catering, and it can also be inside catering. We do offer catering as well if you would like us to do so. Yeah. No, not that. Yeah, so you would receive a normal kind of catering. Yeah, so no. Zambak has no nutrients, of course. But yeah, we do serve normal catering. Yeah, so if you do come, you just have to say what you're allergic to and so on. And then we have Lauren, the Chic Shack manager. She's the one taking care of that, and she'll make your stay a beautiful one. Yeah, she will answer that one.
Hi, I'm Corinne. I'm actually the HR of Nourish. Also, like Pontsho, only been with Nourish for the last 3 months. So you can book through, oh, okay, 6 months then. It feels like three. You can book through TripAdvisor. And if you do not come right, you can email me. I do not have my business card here. But Poncho's got his business card, so you can email him and he will advise you at where to go.
The question is, considering that Nourish has been going on for a couple of years, do we see children going in conservation careers? Is that the okay? Cool. Yes, absolutely. We are currently surrounded by a lot of conservation careers around us. Timbavati, all the nature reserves that we work with are actually encouraging people to go and study environmental education as well, and become more involved in the developmental process of everything that's happening around here. And they can actually become guides. They can become a lot of things that has to do with in conservation, and they can also become conservationists, if I may put it like that. So yeah, absolutely, we do encourage a lot of people to do study what they are. They live around this environment. Of course, you should study what you yeah, at the end of the day, it's what you want to study. But absolutely, we do encourage people to study conservation.
We we need to keep in mind these kids think that you can only be a doctor or a fireman or a policeman. That's how they grow up, that's all they see. So through Nourish, we also teach them that there is other jobs available, like becoming a vet or being a guide or going into tourism. If you ask them when they're in the rice creche, what would you like to be? It's either a policeman or a fireman or a doctor. They don't have a wider spectrum of what they can become.
And also making conservation very interesting for them as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the nice thing of having my colleagues around. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, so also making conservation and agriculture more interesting for them to want to learn, it's very important for us as well, because you would think going to study agriculture, it has to do with, wearing gumboots the whole day, working in the sun and all that, but it actually has to do with more science and compared to that. So it's about how we actually introduce those kind of educations to them and make them very interested in learning and so on. We make the courses very interesting for them to want to learn more.
Good evening, my name is Crystal. Half of you probably know me. So I've got a bit of background with Nourish as well, but just to give you an idea, one of Nourish's general workers that was working in the plantations and vegetables, Sarah gave him a chance to get his PDP, and he is now one of my drivers at Osprey Tours. He is a tour guide, and he has started, as of Monday, we'll be starting to do panorama routes with international tourists.
At this stage, I'd like to know if Nourish is confined to the Limpopo area, because I'm from KwaZulu-Natal, and we need Nourish there as well.
Yeah, so at the moment, due to the developing process and everything, we're hoping we will reach the whole of South Africa, but not only South Africa, but throughout the continent as well. With we study in the area where we would like to have an eco village. Does it have there's sort of characteristics that we look at. If they all meet those characteristics, then we decided definitely we do need to have an eco village on that side, and that's how we will determine whether we will be there or not.
Sorry, just out of curiosity, what is you said you have funding and sponsorship? Could you detail what kind of funding you have?
Are you saying we have funding and sponsorship? Can we detail in terms of who?
Yeah, just broadly.
Okay.
Do you have state help or you privately funded?
Okay, no, we do not have any state help. This is purely just donations. If you go on our website, www.nourishecovillage.com, there's the different categories or projects that we do that you can go decide which ones you want to donate, and if you want to donate once off or monthly. So you can also sponsor a child. You can pay a whole child. No. You can sponsor half a child. You can sponsor the whole year for a child. So we provide 4,400 meals a month at this stage to creche kids and to the green kids. We have about 150 kids that comes to us every day for one meal a day, which is our 6 to 13-year-olds, where our creche kids get breakfast and lunch and a snack. Oh, yeah, thank you. So Sarah's not here at the moment. She's in America fundraising for the creche and for the green kids so that we can grow. We have 7 creches that we provide pap and moringa powder for at the moment. So we would like to make that bigger, to sponsor more creches, because a child that's hungry cannot learn. we need to give them food and give them the substance so that they can learn.
Sorry, I'm just wondering if it's possible to get any more of, I know you're involved with Timberwati, but getting some of the other lodges involved where perhaps the kids could come to a lodge and actually see that there's more to just being a guide. You could become a tracker, you could become a housekeeper, you could become a chef, you could become, you know, there's so much scope in tourism, and I'm wondering if there's any way that I see there are a few lodge owners here, that you can't somehow target us lodges, and maybe do a brainstorm where we can actually bring those kids in little groups or whatever. Maybe do a game drive, and then just learn about what job opportunities there are.
Thank you very much for that. That's part of my role, and yes, yeah. So that's why I'm here, and then I'm here to make relationships with a lot of you people and a lot of every lodge and everything, and then that's my goal as well. That's currently in the plan, and I have a lot on my plate, as you can imagine, and then it's been the hectic 6 months of my. Sometimes I don't even shave, you know. So yes, absolutely, we would love that. We would love to engage in that. That's definitely what we're looking to do, and yeah, we will appreciate that a lot. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, big round of applause there. Thank you so much to the Nourish team for all the work you do. I mean, all of us here have learned something new, I'm sure. And I think we need a second round of applause for all the work that Nourish does there. Definitely. Definitely. And I'd just like to add, these guys are working hard, you know, and this is largely why Nature on Tap is on board, because simply, yeah, we see this connection being made. We see people learning. We see people, you know, interacting with each other. Oh, my bad. There wasn't a fart, I promise. But it's these interactions and these engagements that we're really trying to promote and get all these local, you know, conservation organizations to actually get the word out, because a lot of people don't know what's going on. So yeah, thanks everyone. If you would like to contribute, I know there's some shy people out there. If you want to get involved with Nourish, get in touch with these guys. Go chat to them now. I'm sure you're going to bug them with lots of questions now, so be prepared. Yeah, please, if you want to also contribute to these talks, please, we've got a little donations box. All this is just voluntary, so and we do give it out, and it's very much also non-profit, and we're getting going. But please, get in touch with Nourish. Come chat to us. Also, if you want to order shirts, Nature on Tap shirts, before I forget and I get a million questions, please speak to one of our team members, preferably not me. Who's volunteering from the team here? Carrie. Put your hand up, Carrie. There we go. Come chat to Carrie. She'll take your orders and we'll get it sorted. But really, thanks everyone for coming out. Again, just give the staff some time. Thanks. I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you in a month where we got to talk from Sharon Houseman on GKEP. So Greater Kruger Environmental Protection Foundation is going to come and do a talk. So I'll hopefully see you all then. And if not, I'll track you down. Cool. Thanks everyone. Enjoy your evening. Have drinks. Have some food. Enjoy.